I'm just going to light this firework. Hello, yes, thank you once again for joining me, as I'm sure you are all aware by now that my name is Alex, and today, or tonight, we're going to have a little discussion on what exactly is Bonfire Night, or Guy Fawkes Night, or Fireworks Night. Either way, whatever night you call it, I thought I'd give them, the other people from around the world, a little description as to why we here actually do celebrate on November the 5th, Guy Fawkes Night. Basically what it actually was, about 400 years ago in 1605, a little man called Guy Fawkes and a few of his fellow friends decided to blow up the House of Parliament in aid to get rid of King James I. Now the reason behind all this was because King James I was a Protestant king. Now Guy Fawkes himself was actually Catholic, and he wanted the next person to overthrow King James I to be a Catholic king. Now the date itself, November the 5th, would have actually been the date when the State of Parliament was opening up, and hence, therefore, King James I would have been present. However, the plot was actually discovered when naughty Guy Fawkes was actually found sitting guarding 36 barrels of high explosives. Imagine it, that's a lot. And once it had all been discovered and the king was not killed, he decided, the king, that people of England should celebrate by having bonfires. As long as they were careful, of course. Now in recent times, scientists have actually gone and taken a look at what could have actually happened if the 36 barrels of high explosives had actually gone off. And apparently, the blast radius of the explosion that would have happened would have been a mile across. A mile? That's big. So basically, obviously the House of Parliament would be destroyed. Westminster Abbey, that would be gone. Even Downing Street would maybe not destroyed, but it would have been severely damaged. So really, when you think about it, it's a good job it didn't go off, really, isn't it? I mean, that's a lot of bad things. But returning to Guy Fawkes, what actually happened to him? Well, once he was caught, obviously he was trialled and he was sentenced to death via hung, drawn and quartered, which from what I've researched is not a very nice way to go. Basically what actually happens is you are hung by the neck until you lose consciousness, and then once you do that they cut you back down and place you on a nice flat table. Don't forget you're still alive at this point, and when you start to come around they then cut you open and remove various parts of the inside, such as the intestines. Ow. Before finally chopping off your head and then cutting up your body into 4 separate pieces. That really is a painful way to go, isn't it? That really is. That's you would not want to go that way. However, Mr. Guy Fawkes had a little bit of a plan up his sleeve, and whilst he was en route to the gallows, climbing up the ladder with a noose around his neck, he jumped off the ladder and therefore snapped his neck on the way down when the rope tightened. And that is a brief history of basically why we celebrate here in England Bonfire Night. Did you know it was actually illegal not to celebrate Bonfire Night until 1959? So if you were caught not celebrating, you'd get a right old slap on the wrist. Now when we celebrate Bonfire Night, what we actually traditionally do here in England is we set off a lot of fireworks, and in the meantime we create a large bonfire, and finally create some sort of dummy, which we call the Guy, and we place him on top of the bonfire and set the whole thing alight and watch him burn. Now most people probably believe that the Guy is called a Guy and placed on top of the bonfire because of Guy Fawkes, but actually it is not. No, actually the word Guy is actually a term used to describe someone as being ugly and repulsive, and then in recent years it just slowly became a synonym for the name of man. Throw the man on the fire. Guy on the fire. So if your name is Guy, I'd probably stay in on Fireworks Night. And that's it, that sums up our brief little discussion on what is Bonfire Night, or Guy Fawkes Night, or Fireworks Night. That is what we do, and that is why we celebrate it here in England. That is the reasons why. So I hope that was of some factual knowledge of interest to you all. So until next time, all I have to say is thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to show your appreciation by clicking subscribe, and of course check out my other videos on my YouTube channel as well. But until next time, thank you once again, and I'll hopefully see you all at some point after the fire. Apparently, if you dream of fireworks, it means you like being the centre of attention and enjoy showing off. Me? Hello, Guy. Yeah, we're having a bonfire if you fancy popping around.